Halloween Kills was released on October 15th, 2021, in theaters and on the NBC streaming service Peacock. Originally slated for a 2020 release, but much like everything else was pushed back to 2021. On a $20 million budget, already making profit after its first weekend with already $50 million, and following the success of the 2018 smash hit, Halloween Kills has had a mixed reception upon release, contrasting the predecessor's almost undeniable greatness and universal praise. I wanted to wait for the internet's reaction to this film. Often the internet has a sparse reaction to wide releases, and I was watching for a bubble to blow with a small internet subsection that had praise for the movie rather than the wide dislike I've seen. That's the thing, I haven't seen any hate, but much more dislike. So I took my poor ass to the theater to check out what could be the best Halloween sequel. I want to start with things that I didn't particularly like or seemed unnecessary to me. I'm off a commentary on our social systems and ongoing issues, which seems the way they're going with Ends, the final film in the trilogy, which I'm all for, but we revisit the fateful night in 1978, but we have no reason to go back. It's additional details of Hawkins accidentally killing his partner and covering it up after his partner was attacked by Michael. It doesn't add anything. It's dropped not much later after it's introduced, but it eats up a lot of screen time that could be used to develop Allison or Tommy, who aren't very developed. I say that, but it really doesn't drag away from the movie, and it's something I can live with Tommy and Allison being slightly less developed than they should be. I also didn't like the addition of another mental health patient escaping and being hunted down as Michael. Michael in this timeline has never removed his mask on his own for any reason, so why would he do that in a hospital setting? B, the patient didn't physically resemble Michael in any way. Man was short and stocky while Michael is just big and lumber. The mental health patient and the Hawkins subplot eat up a lot of the run time that could be used to help other parts of the movies that could use some tuning up. Not to say these additions don't need to be included, but they need to have less screen time. I really hope that they add a lot more of those deleted scenes that I heard a lot about and kind of cut back on this when eventually Director's Cut comes out, or I don't know, maybe a fan cut will come out and do that for us. I had some issues with those two pieces of the film. When this movie eventually gets going, and when it hits like mid-second act, it kicks it up by a million. The gore in this movie is phenomenal, gross, and so well done. You can feel every single kill, and it makes for a memorable experience. Besides Tyler Mane's portrayal in the 2007 remake and its sequel, this is the most terrifying Michael we've ever had. The set piece outside Laurie's house in the beginning of the movie is brutal and terrifying. They really did not hold back on the gore and the kills. Michael here is pissed. He doesn't care if you're old, young, have a weapon, or even a threat at that point in time. You are going to be dead by the end of this runtime. If you're not, you're going to be so fucked up, you're going to look like Jason fucking Voorhees. You're in love with a terrifying Michael. Oftentimes, Michael can fall easily into the comedy without meaning to. They went the other way with this and did so well. He feels more than man, a myth or a legend, more or less. I'm liking where they're pushing towards the supernatural element to him, or at least alluding to it. Usually in slashes, if they're not fundamentally supernatural, it comes off goofy. Think Halloween 6 or Jason Goes to Hell. Here, it creates this aura and mystery to him that kept getting peeled back in the OG series, like I said in Halloween 6. The effects here are, well, the complete opposite of Malignant. Watch that video if you haven't. The mask here looks great. I thought it looked a bit goofy when I saw the mask at Spirit Halloween earlier this month, but damn, it looks great in the movie. These last two movies have delved really into the mask being this thing that links Michael to his murderous tendencies, even kind of dipping into this
use a little of that child psychology you're majoring in.
The zombie movies first explored. Again, it kind of gets me kind of giddy and excited, even though it's towing this line between absurd or great. David Gordon Green has recreated Michael for a new decade and a new generation that so many other directors have tried to do but failed for the last 40 years. Honestly, I can't help but not love this movie. Not more than the 2018 film, and take this with a grain of recency bias, even though I did watch the OG before going to the theater. It might be better than the 78 classic in my opinion. It's a big might, or maybe. All three of the films currently within this timeline dominate the top tier of this 43 long series, with this 12 films that have cluttered the series. Hills offers this excellent and fulfilling addition to the franchise after a brush refresher that 2018 had given to it. While I've had some issues that push back from being a perfect film, it still makes for an A+ movie. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely is mine. I hope those who weren't exactly in love with this film as much as I was go and see Halloween Ends and see the conclusion of what at that point will be a 44-year-long horror saga. I hope that this middle installment of divisiveness isn't something that deters people from seeing the end of the trilogy, much like how Last Jedi did for the Star Wars sequel trilogy.